Good morning, gentlemen. How's everyone doing today?
Good morning, Chair.
Good morning, Chair.
Thank you very much for adhering to today's session. Before I start, I'd like to acknowledge firstly Mr. Mkobozi, because normally he will be the one chairing these meetings, but today he was like humble enough to let me chair, so thank you very much then.
Thank you.
And secondly, I appreciate everyone for coming in today. Today's session is about us as men being allies against GBV. The stats are quite alarming, with almost 7.8 women being killed in the last 3 years. So it's quite alarming. So today it's not about us removing ourselves from the problem. It's about us acting with effectivity. Sorry for using Zoom. We are part of the problem as men as well. For being quiet, we watch things happen and then we make jokes about it. Remember, jokes are meant to be funny, not offensive. So today we'll unpack those things. So, rules of engagement. When you guys hear people say men must be part of the solution, what comes to your mind? Anyone? I acknowledge you, sir.
Oh, thank you. I think, Chair, when they say men must be involved, I think it also starts with us. You know, I'll take it back to where it originates. We are the seed bearers, understand? And how do you not take care of seed? So if I have to take it to being a man, it's all about being authentic to yourself, because we all come with brokenness as men. So if it starts with us, we need to do healing first. That's what we need. We need to heal as men before we say we are able to take care of other people, because it all starts within you first before you want to ooze it out. So that is why I believe that it starts with men. Yes.
So basically unlearning harmful norms.
Yes.
Yes. I acknowledge you, sir. Raise your hand.
I think it also starts, Chair, with understanding this is another person, another human being's child, number one, right? And if you as a man, if you have children, it should even make more sense to you that I wouldn't want my daughter, I believe you have a daughter, I wouldn't want my daughter to be going through this. So that means don't perpetuate a situation that you don't want to fall into your next generation, right? It's you saying men are part of the problem or men are part of the solution. That's part of the solution in your thinking. Is this could have been my child or my daughter, and when it happens to them, I shouldn't say anything if I'm a part of the problem.
That's powerful. Yes,
Can I just add to what Mr. Mkopozi also said about men healing? So there's a saying that says, hurt people, hurt people.
Yes.
So in that sense of us as men understanding where our traumas come from as well, and knowing our role as men in society, as he said, as protectors, that's providers, protectors as men. So in what, just to add to what he said, to protect people doesn't mean you should show strength. You know, just even talking for someone, standing up for someone, does play a part.
That's beautiful. As I mentioned, we are here as allies against GBV. What do you think allyship looks like? Active allyship looks like? Anyone can go. Yes.
I think allyship begins in calling each other out as men, because there's this thing that if you see another brother doing wrong, you're not supposed to get involved in his household issues. But if we call each other out as gents, like I see you doing something wrong, I call on the next gen. If we're not close, I call on who's closer to you. Bruh, you see what our brother's doing to his lady. We cannot just stand and watch and say it's not our problem, it's their household problem. So I think that's where it would begin first.
That's a beautiful answer. Anyone else? Yes,
I mean, allyship is a simple term of I'm not a part of a certain group, therefore I don't understand what they go through. I have no lived experience in their particular sector of growing up or however their life has turned out today. That means you are forming part of this individual because you empathize with them. Therefore, you're showing sympathy towards what they're going through, right? Being an ally on GBV is very simple. It's just don't be a part of the problem.
That's it.
But be a part of the solution, like we just said with the first question. You know, if you're an ally, be an ally for forever. Don't be an ally one day, and when it comes to your front door, then you're not an ally because everyone else must understand why you did what you did. That's not you being an ally. That's you being a hypocrite. You know, and I think that's what a lot of men should understand. Calling out each other, I'm not a hypocrite when I call you out. You're a hypocrite for not wanting to be called out. So when I do that, and when we do that as guys, it shouldn't be a you think you're better than me. No, it's a you are doing something that is not right.
Yes. So,
And as a brother, how do we get to a point where you don't do this anymore, but we all of us go into the right direction of protecting our women, protecting our children, and making sure they're safe?
yes.
Yes, I also wanted to add and say also not entertaining said behavior that tend to devalue women. Like in most cases, men will feel like, no, you know what, we're having a conversation. I'll feel left out if I'm not part of this conversation that tends to devalue women and degrade women. So rather stand on your 10 toes and stand for what you believe. If you when it comes to said topics, that's what I'd like.
I think it's also being able to put yourself in someone's shoes. You know, there's a book that I once read. It's the author. Sorry, I think the title of the book is "In Her Shoes." It's actually written by a woman to men, and I do believe that the first thing that you need to do is to put yourself in someone's shoes first, and then the rest should follow, because you would not treat a person the way you don't want to be treated.
Exactly.
I think that's how I take it.
That's beautiful. To sum this one up, I think for me, allyship means assuring our women that we got them. We can't stay silent if we see abuse or whatnot. So I'm hoping you know that as of, I think, last month, GBV is now a national disaster. And as from that,
Finally.
yes, I'm glad. And from that, we have a campaign called 16 Days of Transformation Against GBV. So this question is mostly, I want you, sir, to answer for it. How do you picture a transformed South Africa with less GBV or no GBV at all?
For me, how I picture a South Africa without GBV is when everyone is equal. And why I'm saying everyone is equal, we still know that, especially just to go broader, when we go to GBV cases, and it's still a taboo in the rural areas.
Yes.
And why it's a taboo? Because we all know that a lot of men, they come to the commercial cities, they work in the commercial cities, then they go back home, they are the providers. And women are always the ones who are depending on the men, and
Yes.
that's how sometimes, GBV also can. It's not that all the time. But when you have to look at it, if everybody have to be given equal opportunity to participate in the economy, I do believe that, GBV will also go down. But at the same time, let's also go through healing. We know we cannot say we want to transform if we are not a healed South Africa. Healing starts within first. Transformation starts within. You look at your inner self. It's like looking at the Sustainable Development Goals. Before you achieve the Sustainable Development Goals, you need to achieve the inner development goals. It goes the same as transformation. Transform first you as a person, and you'll be able to transform other people. So that's where I see the South Africa without GBV.
That's beautiful. So, so introspection. Anyone else can go? Yes.
I would like to add on to what Mr. Mkopozi said. If we are looking at healing as men in South Africa, we have to address the root cause of GBV.
Yes.
Some traumas are generational.
Yes.
Meaning
Exactly.
You carry the same trauma in your DNA.
Yes.
The person who might have started the GBV in your family line could be from way back then, but you still carry that same trauma in you. So you have to delve within, go deeper inside, identify where that problem stemmed from. Because if you're growing up in an environment where GBV is a norm, ubabe bamshaya mama, they would beat your dad would beat out the mom in the household. As a kid, when you're seeing that, you're thinking, perhaps it's normal behavior. So when you don't learn how to address problems verbally, sit down with your woman, talk to her, and resolve that issue. But the only way you can respond is violence. some people, it's the only way how they can act out, how they can be emotional is through action. So it's teaching each other as men how to be able to communicate properly and solve those issues.
But how do you create a safe space like that for a man to be comfortable to say, you know what, Zakhela, or you know what, I have a problem of this nature. I've got a temper, I've got triggers. How do you create a safe space without being judged? You get me?
Yes,
No, I think what I've realized throughout the years is that most of the time men do not want to give themselves platform to be able to speak, you know. I've attended a lot of events and most of them were women's conferences where you find women all together, you find business women, entrepreneurs, all of that, and then sharing same minds, you know. But it's very difficult to find a circle like this where it's full of men, where men are able to encourage each other, are able to motivate, are able to speak out, or okay, I've done this, I do this, and we give advices without having to judge another or understand. So I think the problem is that men are not given a platform to speak out, which is a result to what's the pandemic that we are having right now, where we find now women are tired. So I've also seen that sometimes you'd see GBV yenzakala ekasilako, same street, but instead of having to report that, we say, hi, you, because of kusasa masebajabulile mina ngizabe izosala nami. That it's not supposed to be like that. But now since you normalize ukuthi ibe ngathi it's normal ukuthi we can't report stuff like that because we think that tomorrow they will be happy and indaba izosala nawe. No.
It's couples fight all the time.
Exactly. So I think we need to normalize. I think even our South African protection system has to increase, especially when it comes to people coming out with the truth. I understand. Not to use, instead of using social media as a way of speaking out. Because sometimes you find out instead of going in and dealing with the situation directly. Yeah, I understand. So yeah, that's what I might say.
Just to add, GBV is not a woman problem.
Yes.
It's a South African problem. And also, I think as South Africans, I don't know where certain things come from or certain traumas come from of us unlearning. It's okay to be vulnerable as a man. It's okay to say, hey guys, I've got issues in my marriage, which is, I think it's something that men don't generally do. We think whenever we get together as guys, either we're talking football, women, or we never say, guys, actually I've got these issues in my relationship. How do I, because you need someone to talk to, especially when you're feeling frustrated in a relationship. And unlearning what our forefathers and our fathers have taught us, it starts how you speak to a woman. It starts there. How you see people in your society speaking to women. You need to stop it from there. If you see maybe a child or someone, maybe I don't know, I don't want to swear, but you know it's fair. It starts there. That's where you know, you're going to have a problem here later on. Sure. And we are such a country that loves our mothers, but what we do to our women, which is also crazy. We're a country that loves our mothers so much, we put them on a high pedestal, but the stats show we mistreat our women.
Yeah, something different.
Yeah, maybe just to add on, I feel like as gents, we just need to learn from deep within, as Mr. Mkobos has mentioned. We need to learn from within as a man. And also, it's not only on the women that we are dating in our lives, it's the sisters, the mothers. We've seen videos of people that beating up their mothers, mistreating their mothers. I feel like we need to learn as men. And also this thing of, as Amajita, we're just talking football, clubs and all of that. There should be moments where we can talk about, Tando, are you okay? You understand? When I see Tando, I visit you and then I see how you tell your wife to bring you water. I should be able to call you out, not to say, no, it's his house, I can't tell him anything. You understand? So the little things that you see, maybe you want to impress me that you're a man, but I should be able to call you out to say, no, man.
That's not how
This,
you do it.
yeah, as much as you don't like this woman or whatever it is, try to. It starts from the how you treat her and how you speak to her. It ends up in hands being laid. Yeah, so I feel like you need to learn as a man from within on how you. Yeah.
Can I just add? Sorry. Don't add, Fred.
And I just want to say, it stems from like the triggers, the traumas, to creating safe spaces for one another as men. That's literally what it is. Like whatever you grew up as, and however your surroundings were when you grew up, right? That was it. That's the one thing. It's also the acceptance of, I cannot change the past.
Exactly.
The past is what the past is, right? But it's a choice to perpetuate what happened in the past and say, and I agree with you that I'm still carrying this trauma of my father beating my mother. You've seen it. Why does it mean you have to go through it, repeat the exact same lesson to learn your lesson? Like, it's stupid.
Yeah.
You've seen your father do it. You should never attempt to do it. You've seen your brother do it. You should never attempt to do it. Because at the end of the day, it's going to end up in two things: death and jail.
True.
And it's your choice as a man which one you want for yourself. If you want either of that or none of that.
I think it's also just this toxic masculinity. You're not gonna tell me anything, you know. My word is final, you know. I'm the head of the home. I'm this. I'm that. I'm that. And you sometimes see it, especially when the female is stronger. You know, if a female is coming across stronger, the men will tend to, you know, suppress all the time, and it's also insecurity, and it's also just stems to ourselves. And I'm going to say this as men, because we don't address these things. We need healing. We need healing, you know. We grow up in hectic environments. We all got different past, guys. You know, our backgrounds are all different, you know. The way we were raised, you know, the way we've experienced our parents handling their own situations, that also has a very, very serious impact on our childhood traumas. So it's going back inward. I'm gonna take it back all the time. Go back inward. There's a lot of healing that you need to do. You know, you cannot deal with people if you have not dealt with self. I call it shadow work. Shadow work is facing your dark places. It's facing your dark places. It's facing your insecurities. It's facing your trigger points. It's facing your imposter syndrome. Facing you looking at yourself, you know, in the mirror, being completely naked, and it's scary.
It is.
It's very scary, because that's you facing the real you. So that's what we need to do as men. We need healing first before we say we want to be protectors.
I like what you just mentioned right now, because the times that we are living in right now is not the same as what it used to be back then, because of I remember back in the days, our fathers, they were the providers, and our mothers were like but what's this word? They were just giving
Service.
Yes. But now the thing is that women these days are starting to be more independent, and I think men are scared of that. I think we need to accept and be able to allow women to be in control, you know, to allow women to be independent, to be themselves, to be happy, to find their careers, to be, you understand, to not see that as a threat.
Yet we do.
I understand.
Yes.
Because of the moment you start seeing it as a threat, you're gonna want to be defensive. You're gonna want to crush them down,
Show you I'm the
show
man.
them that you are a man, which is pointless. Because at the end of the day, these women they will still need us. You know,
It's a partnership.
men.
Yeah.
It's a relationship. It's a partnership. You understand? We are equal at the end of the day. So if we don't see it as equal, then it's a problem. If we always want to be superior, it's a problem. So I think we need to start accepting that times have changed. Women are starting to be independent and in control.
I mean, sorry, women are even at a point where they can have children without a man.
Yes.
That's true.
And if we don't think about that as men, then you have to be scared for yourself.
Exactly.
They can have artificial insemination without having sexual intercourse with any man, and they can still have a child. Times are changing. Times have changed. You know, we're not in the olden days like how things used to be. And now women can exist without a man in her life, and she's happy. Yet even when she does that, there's still men that would be like, oh, she lives alone, let's break into her house, let's rape her, let's kill her, let's kill her child. The same very man that we're supposed to protect as the ones that are inflicting the pain. So the calling out and creating the safe space and dealing with traumas and the healing has to start somewhere.
But you know, Rev, and I need to ask this. There's a group of men and I'm loving it. How do you just look at someone's child, look at a woman, and you start sexualizing this person? How do you do that? How do you just look, you know, and then you start going deeper and you sexualize it? How do you do that as a man? Where is dignity in yourself? Because I'm sure as a man, if someone has to look at your baby daughter like that, you're not gonna like it. So why is it okay for you to look at someone else, someone's child, look at in that manner? How do you do it?
And they still act on it.
And you still act on it. How do you do it?
So
Yes, Che.
some things stem from social media, unfortunately. What men consume out there is scary, especially pornography. That's the most dangerous thing out there. You watch pornography, you get a lustful mindset. So any woman, whether a young child or an adult, to you look at them in a lustful way. So I think if this country can ban pornography sites, I think men also will change their mindsets also. That's what I'm thinking.
Just to add to what you said, Che, so what society feeds us from music videos, it starts off at a very young age.
Yes.
Women are seen as objects in music videos, which is wrong. You know what I mean? It starts off there, and we grow up embracing this hip hop culture, this rap life video culture, where you start viewing a woman as an object instead of another human being. It also goes back to our cultures. I know probably the start of culture was a beautiful thing, where ilobola and everything started from, but you're not buying that person. Which is another thing that men joke about, is that
It's my product.
It's
my product. It belongs to me.
It starts off there and goes back all the way there. You guys, culture was meant to be a respectful thing, but the way society has turned culture and certain things, it's like you're not buying anybody. People are not for sale.
You're creating a relationship with the family.
Yes, you're creating a bond between two families. So it also starts off with things like that. As us as men, when we do have our young jokes, if your friend is getting married, don't 100,000. It's those sort of talks that.
But at the same time, it's also the same talks that we need to be upfront as men. If you are chilling with your friend and you guys are talking about a woman and you're sexualizing a woman, already there, it's wrong.
That's a problem.
You understand? And this is where you need to say, brah, no. That's not the way.
That's a human.
You know, that's someone's child, that's someone's daughter. You know, how about you look at it this way at least? It starts with us. It all starts with us. End of the day.
And many don't just objectify women or like paint a picture of them naked. They go as far as creating a whole map of how they will go about raping said person, which is very scary. To think that a said person is not just looking about, oh, I'm going to have this person. They're thinking about, where am I going to have this person? How will I have this person in this particular place? How can I get this person
To that place.
to that place?
So it becomes a premeditated thing.
It becomes a premeditated thing where they create a whole structure on how to lure this person into a place where they're vulnerable and they can take advantage of. And that's where we need to now have a conversation of what leads to that. Where does that stem from, and how can we as men fix said issue like that?
And does it go back to what Neo and Tando said? Social media, pornography, the picture that's painted there is a real life depiction that you want to bring to reality. You know, if you do that, that's on you. at the end of the day. But remember, you have a mother, you have a sister, you have an aunt, you have a mother, you have a female cousin that you love dearly, that's like your sister. We all have females in our lives, every single one of us. So it's a matter of shifting your mindset, of understanding, if I hurt this female, I might as well go home and eat my mother.
That's it.
If I hurt this woman, I might as well go home and go rape my mother.
That's it.
That one.
If I sexualize about this woman, this man's wife even, I might as well go home and do it to my mother, because that's the mindset. If you get that in your head and you are disgusted by it, then good. Because you should be disgusted at the fact that you're putting your hands on a woman, you are calling her out in the streets, you're telling her in the streets what you would do to her in front of so many other men and women. That's embarrassing somebody else.
It's disgusting.
You know,
It's disgusting.
it's not just a South African problem, but it's a truly South African problem for me. Men lusting at women, and I see it a lot at like taxi ranks, busy areas, town. It's normal. Everyone can start whistling and looking at this girl and making a hoo-ha about her just because of the way she's dressed. The way she's dressed is her choice to be dressed that way.
And
it's not sorry, Zach.
Yes.
It's not a platter given to you for criticism.
Thank you.
She put on that because she felt comfortable to wear that.
I like what you're saying. She felt comfortable.
Yeah.
But how about
But now
she
we're making
felt
that
safe?
Yes.
You know.
But the safe part is us
safe part.
creating
You
that.
know, think about it. If a woman is no longer feeling safe around a man, what about your mother? What about your sister? What about your
To feel safe
daughter?
around you.
Do you think that they feel it's the same? They're going through the same thing out there. They're going through the same thing out there. So what do we do?
And we don't also talk about the traumatic experience of that on the woman.
Exactly.
Say catcalling, you might just think, oh, it's catcalling, but that creates a systemic mindset. Where it's like, they just scared. They can't even take a compliment anymore.
They don't.
Because
They don't.
it's then as destroyed them. But we don't think about that as
That's
men.
true.
And you're so right when you say women can't take compliments anymore. Because even for me as a gay man, I have to almost feminize myself when I give a woman a compliment.
So that they feel
Because
safe.
their guard is so high
Yes.
up. Because men are always sexualizing them, even with the compliment.
If you haven't seen how big the problem with GBV is, every man now in society, you are regarded as a predator, whether you know it or not.
Yeah.
Whether you are or not.
Yeah.
Once you try to have an honest interaction with the woman, she'd second guess you before even getting to know you.
And we as men caused it.
Yes,
We did. We are the sole problem for that.
definitely.
That's what I'm saying. It's not a woman problem. It's a man problem. GBV is a man's problem. It's not a woman's problem.
Can we kindly take 10 seconds to honor Evelyn de Kock, in which the foundation was founded upon?